Look at Smithers' hand. Look at that stretch in his hand. It's insane. If I were young again, I'd pay attention to that little known dimension, taste of endless time. Just like water, it runs right through our fingers, but the flavor of it lingers like a rich red wine. In those days we were single, we lived them one by one. Now we hardly see them, they don't walk, they run. I've got plenty left to set my sight on, so don't wait up, leave the light on. I'll be home soon. It was too good to be true. They almost had it. Mike's Music Method. Come on in, everybody. I'm Mike over at Mike's Music Method, and you guys are here to learn Chris Smithers, Leave the Light On. Let's have a sip of coffee. I'm excited about it. This song is amazing. It's one of these songs where it truly is a masterpiece. Maybe I say that too often. I don't know that I do. This one is. From the fingerpicking to the melody to the lyrics are fantastic. This song is amazing. If you guys have not heard this song, even if you're not going to learn it, do yourself a favor. Go listen to Chris Smithers play this song. This tune was inspired by Julius, who encouraged me to go out there and learn it. Guys, this is not at all a beginner piece. It's tuned in open D. We got open D tuning, and it is hard. So make sure you have at least 15 or 20 of these songs in my Travis Picking playlist under your belt. Do not start here. Not for the faint-hearted. But for those of you who are up for the challenge, it is amazing. You are going to learn a lot. That's a beautiful open D piece. I would start, actually, even if you're already a pretty good picker, I would check out my tutorial on Buckets of Rain by Bob Dylan. That would be a great one to get used to, because it uses a lot of these double stop ideas in open tuning that if you're familiar with, it's going to be easier. You don't need to do it. It's okay if you don't want to play that one, but it would help out. If you're new to Mike's Music Method, what we do here is first I give you the painstakingly written out transcription. I try my best, guys, to get these tabs as accurate as possible. I think you all know that. That's why you're here. You know they're solid tabs, accurate, almost always better than the ones that you find on Ultimate Guitar. I would say 90% of the time they're way freaking better than those garbage ones. Sometimes Ultimate Guitar will have good ones, but not really for fingerpicking, I've tended to notice. You know, some of the hit songs, sure. But anyways, I do bring you an accurate tab. They're free to download at mikesmusicmethod.com, though I encourage you to please do one of the plans to help support the channel. More on that later. And then I hold your hand and we frolic together, measure by measure. I show you everything you're going to do in the left hand, everything you're going to do in the right hand, and we leave no stone unturned. The timestamps down below are going to be your best friends. Some of you are quicker learners than others. Use those timestamps to navigate measure by measure. At the very end of the video, we will do slow run-throughs, which that's what it is. We just do a slow run of each section of the song. So as you learn it, jump to the end of the video, slow run through the verse, go back, try the pre-chorus, slow run through the pre-chorus. You get the idea. And that's it. The song is amazing. Let's dive in and get going. Shippoo! Before we dive into measure one, let's do some preliminary work, because this tab looks really confusing. But if I show you a couple things here with the left hand, it's going to help you make so much more sense of the tab. Because we are in open D, you tune up, but it's D, A, D, F sharp, A, D. Because we're in open D, we got to get used to some different shapes here. So check this out. The left hand, he's often doing this crazy thing where he's going back and forth between the third and the first string. Now for me, that's so much easier to do the pointer and the ring finger. I know some people could perhaps stretch their pointer and middle to hit those at the same time. I find that quite difficult, so I'm doing a lot of ring finger work in this song. And I think Smither is as well. Now, let's do some of these double stops. I have a great tutorial on the great song, Buckets of Rain. I will say it's a great tutorial, though, too. It is a great song, but it's a great tutorial, I think, as well. Buckets of Rain, where we use what we call double stops in open D tuning, so they look a little different. We're hitting open and open. Then he's doing 1 and 2, and I'm using pointer and ring finger. Then he'll slide that up to 3 and 4 on the right, the third string and the first string. Then we move up to 5 and 5. So we got open, open. That implies the D major chord, right? The minor 2 chord, the minor 3, and then 5 and 5 is a major. Got a 7 and 7. That implies our 5 chord. And he even does go up to that 6 chord where I'm on the 8th and the 9th fret. So what I would do is spend some time getting used to these. And again, I'm doing pointer ring, there I'm doing middle ring for the same frets, 5, 5, 7, 7. So I would just make sure you're comfortable with that idea, because we're going to be moving around those shapes a lot while our right hand's doing some complicated stuff. So spend some time getting used to that concept. Boom, now that we're dialed in, measure 1, let's do this. So the thumb is easy enough. We're just hopping back and forth between 6 and 4. Now, at the beat, well, let me play it. So beautiful. What we're doing is we're pinching 6 and 3, but we got our first finger down. And I'm actually going to get both of these ready, right? I'm going to do that double stop, sliding from 1 and 2 to 3 and 4. But let me show you how he does it. He pinches 6 and 3 and slides. And again, I'm just sliding that one with it. I guess you don't have to, but just know that right afterwards, you're going to put it down. And there's lots of times where we slide them together, so that's why I'm in the habit of doing it together. So pinch 6 and 3, slide, thumb does 4 alone. But then right after I hit that 4, my ring finger is firing on the first string, and it's that 4th fret. And the thumb goes back to 6. So pinch 6 and 3, thumb alone on 4, ring finger on first string, thumb back to 6. Then we have thumb on 6, thumb back to 4. Now check this out. The last note in the measure is we're going quickly to this 5 and 5, or not quickly. We're doing it on the and of beat 4 instead of beat 1. So he's quickly moving into that next double stop. And it just looks like that. 6, 4, and. But remember, you're going there a bit earlier than your brain might want you to do it. So 3, 4. And now moving. One more time. 3, 4. So again, I'm here, thumb, and then I move it to that 5 and 5. Boom, which takes us right into measure 2, and I'm still on that 5 and 5, but I have to add my thumb over the top. Smither does a lot of this. There's one moment in the song that's going to blow your mind. I don't know how a man can do what he does with his hand. We'll simplify it, don't worry. But when we have the thumb over the top, we got these double stops on 5 and the thumb over the top. And what he does here is he's pinching 6 and 1 with that thumb down on the top. So we moved into that at the end of the last measure, and we pinch 6 and 1 on the downbeat of that second measure. Then we slide into that other double stop, 4 and 3, with my left hand again, right, those two. And I'm gonna pinch thumb, pointer, and ring all at the same time on beat 2. So we have this. So pinching 6 and 1, then I move my hand over, I'm pinching 4, 3 and 1, thumb, pointer, ring. Then we have another pinch with on 6, 6, 3 and 1, and I move that left hand down to 1 and 2. So the left hand is 5, 5, we move it to 3, 4, move it to 1, 2. So we're moving through those double stops, but let's do that so far. Pinch 6, 1, 4, 3, 1, back to 6, but now we do 6, 3, 1 on that first shape there. So remember, the thumb here is just going back and forth between 6 and 4, sorry. But on this third beat, when I'm pinching here, we actually slide back up. So pinch 6, 3, 1, slide 1 and 2 to 3 and 4. Thumb goes back to 4. Then I go up to that shape again, just like the end of measure 1. and I hit that on the and beat, the 5th fret there. Let's do that measure nice and slow. Get that thumb over the top. 3, 4. 3, 4. It's awesome. Let's do 1 and 2 together. I don't want to lose anybody. 3, 4. Move the shape up. Yeah, then we go into 3 the same way we went into 2. Put that thumb over the top again and pinch it. Oh, and sorry, in measure 2, just kind of remember, obviously when I go here, my thumb's only at the top for the beginning. So it's like measure 2 is thumb over the top, open, 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 thumb over the top. That's what your bass is sounding like. Now in measure 3 here, we hold the thumb on the top. This is where things become impossible in measure 4. But let's finish 3. Sorry, I'm getting excited. I'm getting ahead of myself. We're pinching 6 and 1, thumb alone on 4, 6, thumb alone on 4. Then my pointer finger plays the 3rd string like it did in the other 2 measures. And now here's the madness. I'm gonna show up on the screen. Look at Smither's hand. Look at that stretch in his hand. It's insane. Honestly, actually, I'm kind of exaggerating. It's really hard to slide it up, but I can reach on a normal guitar. It's really hard on a nylon string. The neck is wider, right? I don't know if many of you know this, but on a nylon string, the strings are further apart because it's designed for finger picking. Your fingers can get in there. So it's wider. It makes these bar chords feel big. It makes this thumb over the top really hard. So I'm sure those of you who are playing on an electric or a smaller guitar can probably do it. But I was telling you to do the 5 and 5 this way. So what Smither is doing here is he's got the thumb here and he's sliding. He plays that thumb on the 5th fret and he slides up to get that on 8 and 9 while that thumb's over there. Look at how absurd my hand looks. Now I could do it if I use my ring and my pinky instead of the other fingers, but I cannot slide into it cleanly, especially on this guitar. It hurts and it's painful. The reason I don't down tune my electric is just I hate tuning it back up and it just, whatever. I like the acoustic sound. I don't actually have a normal steel string. If someone wants to be a huge sponsor to Mike's Music Method and buy me an amazing steel string guitar, do it. Mike'sMusicMethod.com. Ways to donate, ways to sponsor. But what we're going to do here, instead of painfully hurt ourselves doing it the Smither way, I mean, if you want to, go for it. Watch him do it. That is actually what he's doing. My hand's not that big. I don't want to hurt myself. It's painful. I don't want to do it on this guitar. So we're going to simplify it. But no, Smither is a tall dude. Chris Smither, how tall are you? He's at least 6 feet tall. Guy's a monster. At least he's got a monster stretch. So what I'm doing for measure 4 is instead of these 5 opens that you're seeing, I'm taking from John Hurt, and I'm just doing a really heavily palm muted open. Hurt does that all the time. He'll play wrong notes, but he'll heavily palm mute them just so they have a percussive effect and not a melodic one. So in the end of measure 3, when we do that pointer finger on the 3rd string, we're going to slide it up to 8 and do what I call the giddy up. The moment that slides to 8, my thumb's going to hit open. Again, I know the tab says 5 because Smither's doing that crazy thumb over the top. But I'm going to slide 5 to 8 and then hit the 6th string the second I get to the top of that slide. Then right after I hit the 6th string, I'm doing the 1st string on the 9th fret. So sliding from 5 to 8, then hitting the top one. 5 to 8, at the same time at the 6th string, then go to the 1st string with the 9th fret down. Then the thumb goes alone on the 4th, so. Then go back to 7, and there when I go to the 2 7th frets, I'm pinching 6, 3, and 1. Again, if you wanted to, here I could actually reach and do the thumb, if you wanted to get back to that thumb over the top. But if you do it open, that sounds fine too. Remember, I'm heavily palm muting it when I actually practice it. I let them all ring so you can hear it. Then, thumb alone on 4, and then I move to the 5 and 5 again, and my pointer finger does that final note. Really slow, let's do this. I'm gonna start at the end of measure 3 so you can see me slide. 3, 4. Sorry, I messed it up. 3, 4. I hear it at that tempo. 3, 4. Spend a lot of time there. Let's play 3 and 4 together so you can hear it in context. 3, 4. Yeah. Now guys, I know that one is a lot, and I just want to tell you, I know you can do it. You will get it, but stop. Just stop right now, okay? It wasn't easy for me to digest. So what you need to do is spend a lot of time just staring at those measures, especially measure 4, and make sure your brain understands it before you practice it, okay? You don't go like, oh, I think I got it, and then start fumbling through it. Look at it, spend enough time with it until you've gone tediously slow and really train your fingers about what they're supposed to do. Isolate the thumb, isolate the melody part, and make sure your brain understands it before you start practicing it. If you do that and you practice really slow, I know you will get it. But if you just try to like bust through and go further in the song, I got a feeling you might get frustrated. So do yourself the favor, stop, go slow, and you'll learn it faster by going slower. Measure 5. All these are hard to do isolated because they really do flow into one another. So again, 4 to 5 looks like all the other measure transitions. He ends up with that lead in, right? Pointer finger's playing the 5th fret and the 3rd string and the end of measure 4. That's ringing out, and then I pinch 6 and 1 to start measure 5. Then this looks like exactly like measure 2. I move it down to this shape, 4 and 3. I pinch 1, 3, or sorry, yeah, 1, 3, and 4. So pinch 6 and 1 on the both of them 5. Move the shape, 4, 3, and 1. Then I stay in that shape and I do 6, 4, 3. So that whole measure, 3, 4, thumb, thumb, and measure 6. We continue staying on that 4 and 3. So the left hand's going to look like this. 4, 3, 1, 2, open. And the right hand we're doing 6 and 1. Thumb on 4, pointer on 3. Then for this pinch on beat 3, I move the chord down. And I didn't put the slide in there, but Smither is like always holding them down. So even when he's not playing them, you can hear the kind of ghost slide in there just from his fingers being planted. So 6 and 1. 4, 3, slide the chord down, pinch 6 and 1 again. Then we lift our hand, pinch 4 and 1, 3, 4. 3, 4, pinch, thumb, and up. So I'm waiting to move that shape until the last moment where I hit that 1st fret. Let's review 1 to 6 because it is tricky, and like I said, they all kind of flow together, so let's make sure we've got that rock solid. But honestly, guys, there is more, but that is really the hard part. It's the part that repeats a bunch, so let's make sure we got it. I'm sure I'll mess something up here. 2, 3, 4. Make sure that's super good before you move on. But now that you stopped the video and got really good, let's keep going. Measure 7. Whew, we kind of get a break. We almost get a break. We're just going to bar the 7th fret here. So he's going to the 5 chord, which in this key is A, right? D, E, F, G, A. So we're barring 7s. I'm pinching 6, 2, and 3 with thumb, middle, and pointer. Then my thumb goes alone on the 4th string. Now this part's kind of cool. I'm going to pinch here 5, 3, and 2. And we do a little hammer on. So check this out. My ring finger's hammering from 7 to 9. And then on the A string. And then on the G string, the 3rd string, I'm hammering from 7 to 8 with my middle finger. But we're doing them at the same time. Which is really cool. So pinching from the beginning, pinch 6, 3, and 2. Thumb alone on 4. Pinch 5, 3, and 2. Do the hammer on. Then we go back to 6. This is one of these goofy measures where I've listened to live versions. He's varying this up quite a bit. So it's up to you, but here note that at least at the beginning part, when I was paid really particular attention, his thumb is doing 6, 4, 5, 6, 6, 4, hammer on 5, and then back to a 6. Sounds really cool, doesn't it? So let's try that whole measure real slow. 3, 4. So know that that thumb pattern is broken. 6, 4, 5, back to 6. Real weird thumb pattern there. Now, if you just wanted to go back and forth, I mean, you could. Not the end of the world, but Smither isn't doing it that way. Then measure 8. Again, weird thumb pattern. It's going to be 6, 6, 6, then to 4, but it's open. So it starts the same way. Pinch 6, 2, and 3. 6, 3, and 2, I should be saying. I get these numbers. These number systems. 6, 3, and 2. Thumb again on 6, then I immediately go to the first string. And I'm using my ring finger there. Then I go back to 7, or sorry, back to the 6th string again. Then I lift the chord. My middle finger does the 2nd string. My thumb does the 4th. So the ending is 6, 2, 4. Got the 7th fret down. 6, lift it. 2, 4. The whole measure nice and slow. 3, 4. Yeah. Donation pitch. I don't know why these have been on my head the whole time. Here at Mike's Music Method, guys, let me speak from the heart. This whole thing is based on the value for value model. If you've made it this far in the video, you're clearly getting a lot of value from this channel. And I don't put anything behind, you know, a paywall. Sure, there's some tiered content, but not really, guys. All these tabs, all these videos are for free. There's very few people doing that on the internet. And let's be honest, these tabs are more accurate than what a lot of people are offering on the internet for these finger-picking tunes. So that's the value I'm providing you guys with. Please, I know I have the free plan available, the Freddy Freeloader on my website, but come on, guys, if you've got $5 a month, please, $2 a month, $10 a month, that would really help support the channel, buy me more time to keep cranking out this content and other content. And the value for value model is such a beautiful thing. Some people, if they can give $20 a month, you can do that. If you can give $50 a month. Some people are doing this in lieu of guitar lessons. Is this worth $150 a month to you? There's a lot of tutorials here. It might be, but even if it's just $10 a month, maybe you can only afford 5. You get the idea. It's a value for value. I encourage you all to give. And that way, there are people who are young or simply like straight up broke is a joke. Guess what? They can still access this content and get a great finger-picking education. So it's kind of like the honor system, right? There's a tip, there's a bucket there. If you got the money, give it. You're taking an apple from the table. Come on, man. A few bucks, you know you can do it. That's a value for value model. I'm giving you my time, talent, and treasure. Give a little bit of that in return. Even if you're broke as a joke, send me a lovingly encouraging email. Those help me. mikesmusicmethod@gmail.com. Let's keep going. Boom, guys. We catch a little bit of a breather. I know that's hard, but guess what? Measure 9 is the same as measure 1. Measure 2 is the same as 10 here. Measure 11 is only slightly different. Check this out. Instead of just doing pinch, thumb, what he does here is he does 2 pinches. Pinch 6 and 1, pinch 4 and 1. Really cool. And then it ends the same way as measure 3. Yeah, so 13 is the same as measure 4, or sorry, 12 is the same as 4. I believe 13 is the same as 5. You get it. But then 14, we've got a little bit of new information here. Let's do measure 14 together. I'm going to pinch 6 and 1, but I got the 4th fret down on the 1st string. And I pinch and do a pull off. If you're watching this video, I'm sure you're an advanced player. You know how to do a nice clean pull off. But a reminder, I'm slightly pulling down, really quickly, releasing it like I'm shooting a bow and arrow into the sky. To get a nice, you know, snappy sound. Then I'm doing thumb on the 4th string. Snapacity. I'm going to steal a word from Dan John when he's talking about kettlebell swings. You got to get snapacity going. And not the word ASS. Snap, A-C-I-T-Y. Snapacity, okay? You perverts. And then we go to the 7th fret, and we do this fun little roll. So what I'm doing here is I'm doing a very quick 6, 3, 2, 1. I'm doing thumb, pointer, middle, index. But it's kind of just like a fun little roll that my thumb does the 4th string. You know, if you had like a pick, you just like pick a little slower instead of a strum. It's got that kind of sound. So I got this pull off, pinch, 6 and 1, pull off, thumb alone on the 7th fret, but I do the quick little roll, thumb alone on the 4th. Let's do it together, 3, 4. And these two measures are great. I love measure 15 and 16 for their simplicity. It's just a great little trick you can do in open D tuning. Pinch 6 and 1, thumb alone on 4, pinch 6 and 2, but do a hammer onto the 2nd fret. Then we end it doing 4 to 1, and it's also open. So just that little hammer on. Sounds great. 3, 4. Then followed by 16, which is really cool too. Just thumb on 6, thumb on 4, pointer does the 3rd string. And here we have the giddy up. What we're doing here is, I need to make a video just on the giddy up. I'm gonna make one. Maybe. If I make one, it's gonna be up here. Remind me in the comments below. I hate talking about this every video, but it happens all the time in picking, and if you haven't come across it yet, it's gonna confuse you. But it's the giddy up where I'm hammering open to 3 on that 3rd string, but the moment I hammer on, I'm hitting the 6th string. Giddy up, giddy up. Thank you, Anders, for the term giddy up. I'll honor it one more time in saying I stole the word from you. I used to call it a compound movement. Real stiff, but the giddy up's way cooler. Giddy up. So I'm only hammering the 3rd string even though I'm sounding the 6th string at the same time. Really cool move. So 6, 4, open 3, giddy up. Right back to the 2nd string with the middle finger, then thumb on 4. And I love that because these two are the same note, that 3 and open on the same string. Such a great sound. So 3, 4. Boom. Go to the end of the video, timestamps are down below, and do the slow run through of the intro and the verse. That's it. This happens a lot in the song. Get it down rock solid before you move on. Take your time. It is not an easy one. Take your time. Measure 17. Here we have a little, before we get to the chorus, I guess the pre-chorus here. Then we danced in waltz time. We sang them, danced them 3 by 3, whatever it is. I'm missing up all the stanzas here. But 17 looks like this. Got that the 7's barred again. Pinching 6, 2, and 3. Here the thumb goes only to the 5th string. Again, if you want to go to 4, it's fine. It's your choice there. And here he's pinching 6, 3, and 2, but he's still hammering onto that 9. This is what I mean, like when I said earlier, he's kind of winging this part of the song and just like whatever rhythm his thumb feels like doing, it's doing. Well, the rhythm's always the same, but whatever string he wants to hit, he's just banging away, not being too concerned. But we got 6, 3, 2, thumb alone on 5, 6, 3, 2 again with the hammer. So again, I'm hammering that A string, even though I didn't just play it. Like a little ghost hammer. Then the thumb goes to 5 again. So the thumb here is 6, 5, 6, 5. Sorry. Let's do that. 3, 4. Measure 18 starts the same. Then my thumb goes to 4 though, and then immediately to the 1st string. So I've got pinch, thumb, and then my thumb goes back to 6. I lift the chord, do open, open, which is how we ended the previous one. The only difference is he doesn't hit the thumb 3 times in a row. He hops it here. It's the only difference from when we did that one earlier in the song. And here we go, measure 19. It's new material, but it's similar, and I'll show you what I mean here. We got 1 and 2, that double stop, pinching 6, 3, and 1. We slide up to 3 and 4, then my thumb hits the 4th string. Then I move it back, and I pinch all of them again. Then I move it back up. So we have this, pinch and slide, thumb alone, move it back, pinch, thumb alone, then my pointer finger does the 3rd fret on the 3rd string. So I move that shape back up. And you can, again, you can hold it down and let there be a ghost slide. But let's do it slow. 3, 4. Then measure 20, our hand's still there on 3 and 4. We pinch 6 and 1. Thumb on 4, pointer on 3. Pinch 6 and 1 again. With that pull off, thumb alone on 4. So 3, 4. 21 is the same as 17. And this one's the same as well. 22 is the same. Here we got some new material though. In 23, we go to the 5, so now we're implying the G chord. Here there's a roll, but it's only a triplet. It's not all 4 of them. It's just thumb, pointer, middle, 6, 3, 2. The Leonard Cohen trick. If you want to learn how to get quick at that, I've got 2 videos. The Partisan, and then in a moment up above I'll also link to the Stranger song. Both great songs by Leonard Cohen that utilize that like triplet throughout the whole song. So much fun to play like that. But here we get one little sparkle of it. This little triplet, 6, 3, 2, thumb, pointer, middle. My thumb does 4th string alone, then immediately on the 1st string. Triplet, triplet. 6, and then we lift the chord, get an open. So 3, 4. Let's go right into the next measure here. 24, we move back to 7. Pretty easy. It's thumb, 6, 4, 3, and that 3 is with the pointer. Thumb, thumb, and back to 6. Then I lift the chord, do open with my ring. Open with my thumb on the 4th string. So 3, 4. Shoo! Boom, go down below, do a slow run of the pre-chorus. Make sure you got it. And then the great news is that the chorus is just the first, the verse again. The verse with the 2nd ending. So you'd go to measure 9. Do measure 9 to 16, sing the chorus line. Don't wait up, leave the light on, I'll be home soon. Then you would do that again, 9 to 16 again, and that's because there's that other guitar doing that lead part. Ba-doom, doing, beam, da-doom, ding. I'm humming it poorly. You get the idea. So the song flow is basically measure 1 to 16, that repeats. Second time you go through all the way to 24. Then you repeat 9 to 16 for the chorus. So you're getting there. That is the whole thing except the coda. However, there were 2 moments where I'm doing it a little different than the recording because he varies it up so often that I didn't give you like the slight alternate during the verse. But here it is. If you look at 25, the intro, only in the intro, I think, it's hard because he plays it a bunch. I didn't examine every single one. But in the intro, he actually plays measure 12 and 13 like 25 and 26. And again, it's the same thing as written above, except that he's banging away with that thumb there. But doing that reach with banging on that thumb is just obnoxious. I don't like doing that, so I didn't incorporate it up there. But if you want to be a purist and obsessed, you can do it that way. Again, I'm avoiding banging all of those because at least I decided not to hold down 5, and I don't want to play that note over and over again. It's just hoppier to do it that way, especially with that one palm muted. But either way, one other alt take, instead of doing measure 15 and 16 at the end of the verse, you can replace it with 29 and 30. This is also a great fun open D, simple little open D trick. What we do here, pinch 6 and 1, thumb alone on 4, then pointer on the 3rd string. We do that same giddy up where we hammer onto 3 and hit 6, but then my pointer finger is going to snag the 2nd fret on the 2nd string. So that's what we're adding there. It starts the same pinch, thumb, and giddy up, but then I immediately hit 2nd string with that 2nd fret down. thumb does 4, ring does open on the high string, 3, 4. Real close to being the same as 15, but not the same. And then here we are in measure 30, which is a lot like 16, but not quite the same. It's even easier. 6, 4, 3, 6, 2, 4. So those two together, 3, 4. Let's just do the coda. Nearly the same as the verse, but a little different. Check this out. 33 is the same. So it's 34. At 35, you could do the same as we always did in the song. It's slightly different in the sense that we have pinch 6 and 1, 4, 3, 6, 1, 4, 3. So there's a little more, you know, he's excited by the end of the song. He's putting in a little more right hand hits. It's not as sparse. So 3, 4. Here I'd slide it the same way. Again, I'm ignoring those 5s and just playing them as open. And then in 37, that's the same. He pauses for a moment longer here than just the half note. And then he does it here. He comes in thumb pointer, and then into measure 38. And there I'm doing the quick roll, but you can do a slow thumb, but I'm doing thumb, pointer, middle index. And then he slides that just the pointer finger, does the giddy up into the 6. The moment it hits the 3rd fret, my thumb hits the 6th string. And there it slides 6 to the 1st string, which is the 4th fret, 6, then the 3rd string, 6, then the 4th. So let's go from 37 really slow. 3, 4. Rest. Yeah. I'm not gonna do a singing thing here. This is already a tough one to play, but if later on you guys want to try singing it, hit me up, comment down below, and I can do a little tutorial about how I go about trying to sing with these songs. But you kind of, if you've watched a bunch of my videos, you know the process already. I would simplify, maybe just do the thumb part. Can you sing just to the thumb part? Then start adding the other elements. Again, if you want a whole tutorial, let me know. But I did want to say that these lyrics are amazing, just about time and how confusing and elusive it is. And my question for you guys, time, is it a real thing? What is time? Does time exist? Is it an actual thing? Is it metaphysically a thing, or is it just a human man-made concept? What the heck is time, y'all? What is time? But it's also one of those songs that uses the cliche of where, you know, you talk about the song itself, you know, couplets and waltz time. And that's almost always dumb, but it's so good in this song. Of course, Leonard Cohen pulls it off in Hallelujah. You know, it goes like this, the 4th, the 5th, the minor fall, and the major lift. But this one does it too. It's not a cliche. It's awesome. It hits home. It lyrically works. What a powerful tune. It can bring me to tears. Slow run. Let's do the verse. Measure 1 to whatever it is. 16, 2, 3, 4. Do that 100 times. Go slower if you have to. Take 3 measures at a time if you have to. You're gonna do it. Let's do the pre-chorus 17 to 24. Slow run. 2, 3, 4. I did those 5s quicker than a triplet. That would have been more triplet. But I just kind of rolled them again. Real subtle. You get the idea though. Slow run of the coda. Measure 33. 1, 2, 3, 4. Kind of butchered the timing there at the end. I know there's like a natural slowdown, but that's it. You get the idea. I'm so proud of myself. You should also have this SHIT eating grin on your face because you done well, kid. You done well.